Okay, now we are going to talk about different ways to organize your slides and also the different layouts for different slides. So first of all, I'm going to make use of this great picture I have here, and I'm going to add a text box. And let's just pop it down there. And I'm just going to write cool, center that, give it another font, something a little more lively than Georgia. Maybe we go with Bauhaus here. And let's make it quite a bit bigger. And let's make it a different color. And I'm going to rotate it a little bit so it looks a little more in line with the sign that she's holding. And you see how I can use that to give the effect that she's holding this, this sign with my text on it. Now, I have several different elements on here at the same time. I've got 4 text boxes now. I've got this image. And you can see that some are on top of each other. The cool is obviously on top of the image. She is on top of that text behind her. It's going behind her head. That is the stacking order of the elements on the slide. Think of it like a bunch of thin layers on top of each other, and every element is on top of something else. Okay. Now the default stacking order is the order in which you created them. So the first thing you created is the bottom, next thing is the next one up, the last thing you created is the top. Now there's a couple of ways to rearrange things. One thing I can do, let's say I want her to be behind this text. I can select her or I could select the text, and I go to arrange, and you can see that I've got these 4 options here. Bring to front, send to back, bring forward, send backward. Bring to front and send to back will bring it all the way to the top of the stack or all the way to the bottom of the stack. So in front of everything or behind everything. Bring forward brings it up 1 level. Send backward sends it down 1 level. So by saying send backward, it'll send her down 1 level, and that didn't put her behind the sign because the next level is this it'll blow your mind option there, right? So I would have to send it back another level. Oh, looks like we'll even have to go back a 3rd level. There we go. And now she's behind the text. Okay. Now, that can be useful, but a very cool feature that's in PowerPoint, if I go back to arrange here, I have this thing that says Reorder Objects. And when I click that, it gives me this really cool view of every single layer in my slide. So cool is in the front. Then I've got this one that says I'll blow your mind, and then my amazing presentation, then you're going to love it, and then her. And I can drag these to be in whatever order I want. So now cool is actually underneath these 3. Now that won't really affect anything because they're not touching each other, but I can just drag these layers in whatever order I want them to be in. When I'm done, I click OK, and it puts that all into place in the order that I dragged them in. So that's reordering the elements on a particular slide. Now let's looking at different layouts for the slides within your theme that you've chosen. I'm going to make a new slide now. I'm going to say this one's done. This is the way I want it. I'm going to come up here and I've got a button that says New Slide right in my home section of my tab. And now I've got this blank slide. But you'll notice the template for my new slide doesn't look exactly the same as my template for the first one. I've got a lot more white space on the top here, not nearly as much here. I've got this title up there, and then I've got a bullet list, and I've got these buttons down here that I didn't have on the last slide. Again, that's because the first slide is a title slide. It's like a title card for your presentation. Then it goes into the standard format for your theme. But I've got even more options than this. Most themes have lots of different layouts, and I can get to those with this button that says Layout just to the right of New Slide. If I click on Layout, you'll see I've got all these different options that are all within my theme, so they'll go well together, but they all have a little bit of a different look so that my slideshow won't get too repetitive. Now, most of these ones are going to have a title right here, and then they're going to have this big section that's for some sort of media, and they're going to give you a bunch of options. So they've given you a text thing that you can just click and start typing. Now watch this. When I start typing, those buttons disappeared because I basically have said I'm going to use this one for text. And it's automatically a bullet list, as you can see. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to undo that. And you'll see that my buttons are back. These buttons are quick ways to add a table, a chart, smart art, which we're going to talk about in a minute, an image, some clip art, or the movie. Now you've got these tooltips popping up when I leave them on there long enough so you can get kind of a little cheat of what each one is for. But if I click this image button, it's automatically going to open my thing to choose a picture. If I click the smart art, which we're going to do in a minute, it's automatically going to give me smart art options. So that's the format for helping you to set up your second slide. And again, first you'll come to the layout and choose whatever layout you want for your slides moving forward.